I spent all summer in Desolation Wilderness in California. It's actually exactly as cool as it sounds like. It's so beautiful there. There's this lake and you're like miles from civilization. I was working at a wilderness summer camp, so I was taking kids out trekking and climbing and bouldering and tree climbing, and what little time I did have to spend climbing for fun and for me became really precious. The area was pretty much entirely undeveloped, so my plan was to spend all my time developing the bouldering in the area and just cleaning off 3-star boulders and trying to get a bit stronger. That plan kind of went out the window when I found this route project that was just too good not to do. When you do new routes, so often they're like nearly but not quite perfect. There'll be one section with no holds and the rest of it will be amazing, or there'll be too many holds, or the holds will all fall off, or there'll be holds but no gear whatsoever and 1,000-foot drop onto pointy rocks instead of a nice landing or something like that. The only problem with this route was that it was a fingertips crack, and I'm British and we can't climb cracks in general. I certainly can't anyway, or I couldn't. I had to spend a load of time just practicing on boulders around the camp. I also felt like I ought to learn it off with, so I got my butt kicked on a 5.7, which I think is a pretty canonical American climbing experience. I did manage a really cool overhanging off with first ascent, which felt like the hardest thing I'd ever climbed, and about equivalent to like maybe an 8C sport climb. So that probably means it was about 5'10", or maybe 5'9".
Oh, yeah. What's that, 5'7"? Jeez.
5'8".
Oh.
5'7".
The route starts with a pretty steep and sustained section. It's probably like doing a short 13A or like a V8. It's got some really bad knee bars and then like this amazing drop knee, and then you have to do this just wild cut loose move onto this hanging flake, which is a really good jug once you cut loose and swing out. It just feels like it's not going to work. It's such a weird move. And once you're through that steep boulder, you've got a really sustained like 12D finger crack. That is still gently overhanging, and you're just desperately stabbing between tips jams. I fell off the crack so many times. I'd only have enough time for like one go per day most days. I'd like run there, like have one go, fall off, lower down, and just like run back to camp so I wasn't late for my next session. The day I actually did it, I was in such a bad mood. Just remember running to the crag with my friend, and we had a good scream. I was sort of like running through the bushes, and my clothes were ripping, and just like howling at the sky. I think when there's tension in such a tiny little community, there were like only 15 of us working at the camp, you can just feel like so trapped and isolated, like the whole rest of the world doesn't exist. Pulling on that go, I just had this like rage. I just like knew I was going to get to the top.
Oh damn, I stuck it. Oh my god.
Back home when I do new routes, I know there's a reasonable chance other people will actually come and try them and repeat them, and that's actually a big part of the motivation for me. I think doing first ascents is actually like a really creative process. Someone told me once that they had done some routes in what they considered to be the purest climbing ethic possible, which is to do big multi-pitch adventure routes, ground up with no cleaning, and you don't even name it, and you don't tell anyone about it, so no one knows you've done it. So that that same experience is there for anyone else to go and have. And the experience is as like devoid from ego and point scoring, I suppose, as possible. I'm definitely too much of a prima donna for that, though. Yeah, I definitely care about other people thinking my routes are good, or not, even if they're never going to go and do them.
Oh. I hope that looks hard.
Yeah.
It's a bloody rod.